Welcome to your Ironman Chattanooga 70.3 swim, bike, and run course previews. First of all, on the swim, athletes will enter the water in a rolling start and head straight down the river for a 1.4-mile stretch before exiting at the beautiful Ross's Landing Park. Spectators will have a great opportunity to watch the swim from the Veterans and Market Street bridges and the Tennessee River Walk. And the average water temperature is typically in the low 70s. So now you have an idea of what to expect. Wendy will give you a real athlete's perspective because she has done this course. Wendy, it's a point to point and it's 1.4 miles of swimming. That's not normal. Go ahead.
Yes, 1.4 miles is just a little bit longer than the 1.2 mile typical 70.3 course is. And it's downstream. So don't let that, provide any fears for you because you're still should be faster than your typical 1.2 mile open water swim. And I say you should because a lot of that is dependent on the current that you're going to get race day. Some years you have more current than other years. And so you still want to become a strong, proficient swimmer. You don't want to rely on the downstream. If you're a beginner swimmer, I do suggest that you do learn to swim efficiently. Even though you're going to have a lot of help, it's still important because sometimes you have more help than other years. Now, it is point to point, so you have the choice of either walking the 1.4 miles up the river walk to the swim start, or they do provide buses for you. I chose the walking option because I was in control of when I could start my walk and how long it would take me to be there. And I think it's just a good warm up. Our wetsuits are probably, you just kind of want to depend on, it's going to be a race day decision if you're going to wear a wetsuit. If the temperature is 76.1 degrees or higher, it'll be a non-wetsuit legal swim. If it's 76 degrees or cooler, it'll be a wetsuit legal swim. What the word legal means is if you decide to wear a wetsuit, if it's above 76.1, you will be ineligible for prizes. And wetsuits do include the buoyancy shorts, Blue 70 core short, lift short, as well as other brands out there. I'm just familiar with the more of the Blue 71 because that is wetsuit material. You are allowed to wear a speed suit. Whether it's cool or warmer, the speed suit is not the wetsuit. So there is a difference between that. And if you're unfamiliar with that, you should check either out and that'd be fine to swim in. Now, again, going back to the downstream swim, most years it is got a pretty good current. And so you're going to get out of the water and you're going to be pretty happy because it's a little bit easier to swim with a current and your time's going to be a little bit faster. And as Dave mentioned, it's kind of, you're going to be going along the river walk. So there's tons of spectators, especially as you get out of that transition. There's just so many spectators. So if you're going to be one to go spectate, you just make sure you get there early and you get your spot early because it does get pretty full. And the transition's a little bit longer than other transitions that I've raced at, other events that I've raced at. The transition's a little bit longer. So expect to take more time. Your T1 might be a little bit longer than a previous T1 time in a different venue.
In my past experience of swimming in a river with a current, if you can get out deeper, you can usually catch the current. Any strategies for swimming closer to shore versus swimming out more in the middle?
That's a good point to make. The current is going to be a little bit different farther out than close. In a start, how they're going to do it one at a time. They're going to send you off one or two people at a time. Just try to draft off someone. Just kind of try to follow them because usually the swimmers in the beginning are more experienced and they understand that a little bit more. So you're just going to try to follow the people in front of you. I remember someone asked a question about how the current impacts a experienced swimmer compared to a least experienced swimmer. And we actually posted that answer in our T2 Endurance Facebook group if you have a question like that.
This looks like a pretty straightforward swim with the buoys, kind of a little zigzaggy in a way. And there's a landmass in the middle. So it should be fairly easy to sight. And you're also going under a couple of bridges. What do you recall from that?
Yeah. So when the Ironman sets up buoys, they're every 100 meters. And so if you're someone who really likes to keep track of your time or your pace, know that buoy to buoy is about 100 meters. It definitely a super easy course to sight off of because it's point to point. It's you're not going to have sun in your eyes. And another reference point is that I believe it's 2 bridges that you're going to go under. And so more for the less experienced swimmers, sometimes it's a relief. You're like, okay, I went under 1 bridge, check that off. Now I'm approaching the 2nd bridge, check that off. And then you're closer to the finish line. And for the most part, it is fairly close to shore. And so you don't have that sense of being in a huge body of water because the shore is right as at height sight. So it's pretty close.